around Victoria train station. So we've just come in from the main entrance over there. In the distance you can make out Little Ben, a symbol of Anglo-French friendship. This is the week after we left the European Union. Okay, so let's head over here. And I'll just walk you along the platforms, maybe give you a history lesson over the announcements.
Kent House, Beckham Junction, Shortlands, Bromley South, Bickley, Hexwood and Orpington. This train is formed from...
So those are the departure boards and they take you down. This was a station that was set up to serve the south of England, but from north of the river, the north of the Thames rather than south of the Thames. So those are our departure boards. Originally the station was set up to serve Brighton and a Brighton line, and Chatham in Kent. And originally the three main termini to go south were actually south of the river. And so it was felt necessary because the major centres of population, business, government, we had Westminster, the West End, because they were all north of the River Thames. During the 19th century, it felt necessary to build a station that was north of the Thames to serve the south. So here we are at the far end of the station. Got a Starbucks naturally. Always have a Starbucks. I wonder what the new blonde macchiato is like. So I'm going to head down here and then I'm going to walk you back around. So as I said, we are at the far end of Victoria train station. Just going to point out the toilets. Sounds a bit strange, I know. But some people still erroneously believe that we charge you to go to the toilet in London at our main train stations. That has been stopped. You now no longer have to pay 20p to go to the toilet. What a relief for everybody, I'm sure. It is the second busiest station in London and the UK after Waterloo Station. So you can see here you would need your Oyster Card or ticket to pass through. Don't know if the price has gone up for the Oyster Card this year. So we are February 2020. If you're a visitor to London and you're going to be using public transport, which you really should be, use the underground, use the buses, then you'll need an Oyster Card. You can buy them at train stations and some of the sort of local shops and sort of small little places that you see on the street.
So this is
So as usual, lots of food places. Millie's Cookies. I do like a Millie's cookie. It's been a long time since I had one. I try to eat a bit more healthily these days. Camden Food Co. I've seen them at some airports as well. And there's the main entrance that I came in through. I actually went the wrong way. I came out of the underground and ended up, I think it's called Cardinal Place, just over there. There's the underground station entrance. So I said earlier the station was built in the 1860s to set up a Brighton route, and then a couple of years later a route to Chatham. And previously there was no route to the south of England from north of the River Thames. So you had to either go from London Bridge or Waterloo or the Bricklayers Arms. And we already had our centre of government here in Westminster. We had the West End, which had been thriving for centuries. People lived and worked here as well as governed from here. Even though it had a pretty good service to the City of London, it was felt that it wasn't particularly good for Westminster. And there was a proposal, I think, to set up another line into the West End and Westminster. But that was an unsuccessful bid, so they never built a branch to the West End. After they built it in the 1860s here, it was a huge success, an unexpected success. And so, surprise, surprise, something we deal with all the time as train travellers in Greater London, there were lots of delays. And so massive rebuilding had to be done within about 5 years of building the station. In Delys de France, they do sort of croissants and rolls and sausage rolls. Let's have a look at the prices. Cheese and onion slice £3.69. Vegan sausage roll £3.99. Baguettes are £3.99 for a baguette.
This train is formed of 8 coaches. Due to short platforms, passengers for Mitcham Junction and Hackbridge should board the front 7 coaches. Platform 11 for the 11 Southern service to Epsom via Mitcham Junction.
I always show you food eating places because I know if you're coming to London, you're going to want to go to the toilet, which is why I just showed you a toilet, and you're going to want to eat and drink. There we have another one, upper crust. So as I said, hugely popular when it was first built, overused. Rebuilding had to be done very fast. To build the original Victoria station, they'd had to build a Grosvenor Bridge over the Thames to serve it. That had to be extended then when they did the rebuild. And South Eastern wanted to use Victoria Station as a terminus as well for London, but they would charge such exorbitant rates that they said, we're not paying that, we're going to build Charing Cross Station instead. So that is now why we have Charing Cross Station. Can't see any prices outside. Accessorise, I went there once. I was here for a work placement visit. As you know, I'm a university lecturer, so one of my students was working in this area. It was so cold, so I went into Accessorise and bought a hat. So this isn't the original building. The original building was demolished in the early 19th century. And the rebuild was completed in 1908 into the current red brick Renaissance style building that you see before you. And the Grosvenor Hotel was rebuilt at the same time. Through the early 20th century, got quite a reputation for luxurious trains, including the Pullman service. I think one of the most luxurious trains on the planet came through here. There's the tickets. This is where you would get your tickets. I'll just see if I can show you a self-service machine. Wait a sec. So you can go to the counter if you don't mind queuing. Then if you want to buy an Oyster card, I think you could get them from machines. Let me just have a look. I've had my Oyster card for years. Choose your ticket. So you can buy your actual tickets directly to stations. If you can actually buy an Oyster card here, let me have a look. Touch the screen to buy your ticket. There we have. If I press Oyster. Right, it thinks I already have one. So it wants to know, if you look there, it's going to ask me if I want to refill my Oyster card. So that's if you already have one. You top it up at these machines and they're at all the stations. So obviously you could buy an Oyster card from the ticket counter. We're going to head upstairs in a moment. During the 1980s, there was some major redevelopment here. So many of the shops that you see on the concourse were sort of created then. So you got places to eat, drink, shop while you're here. And we're going to go upstairs to see the main shop development of the 1980s. Just going to ask that chap if there's a machine for Oyster cards. Excuse me, hi. You know Oyster cards, can people buy them from the machine, or is it only from... Yeah, where are the machines?
Yeah, downstairs, underground machines.
Underground machines.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, alright, thank you. So that helpful chap just told me there are Oyster card machines downstairs in the underground. Okay, so if you head downstairs from Victoria Station, if you don't want to queue, and you can see you've got the ticket place over there, you can just go and queue and buy them. But he said there's machines downstairs where you can go and buy your Oyster cards. Bathroom break spot over there. Okay, so now we're going to go upstairs. Should also point out just round the corner from here, 300 metres, and I think it's kind of through the back of here if I remember correctly, is Victoria Coach Station. Very well known Victoria Coach Station. As a student, you nearly always came in and out of Victoria Coach Station if you're coming in and out of London. Serves the UK and Europe.
The next train to depart from
Right, let's go up to Victoria Place and I'll show you a little nose around the shops.
service to Littlehampton via Hove and Eastbourne via Lewis. Calling at Clapham Junction, East Croydon, Gatwick Airport and Haywards Heath, where the train departs.
Show you around there.
Preston Park, Hove, Portslade,
Beautiful view of the station.
Torrington Hudson.
Okay, here we are. So, shopping area here. Dorothy Perkins. I buy quite a lot of clothes in there because they always have a sale. I'm one of those people who doesn't like to pay full price. Give me the sale. Where's the discount? Pret-a-Manger. Mountain Warehouse. Also a good place if you want outdoor clothes. Go into Mountain Warehouse. They always have a sale, or usually anyway. Some very good prices. So what are they telling us? Little stuff here. What have we got? Jacket. You see the sign. There we are. Jacket. Man. $69.99 reduced to $34.99. Shoes are reduced from, well, £100 to £60. So as I said, you need some outdoor clothing because it's colder or wetter than you expected. Then do go to Mountain Warehouse. Hema. I never go into Hema. They seem to have lots of like bits and pieces. Never understand what their product is. Right, let's go up here. I think it's just a food court up here. Ooh. Try and stand still while I'm at it. So up here. Look over here. There we go. Costa Coffee. As I said, food court. So you've got Café Rouge, you've got Fresh Pizza Co. All you can eat pizza, pasta and salad buffet, $7.99. Okay. Tortilla. It's pretty empty at the moment, you can see, because it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. Subway, where the Odd Ones Out used to work, not in that particular Subway. If you don't know who the Odd Ones Out is, look up his cartoons. Pretty good. Just all this in my opinion. You don't have to believe me. I could be wrong, and I often am. So more toilets through there, more eating, So we'll circle back round. Oh, I see an Ed's Diner. I do like an Ed's Diner. Nice milkshakes. I like their Reese's milkshake, really nice. So KFC, Costa Coffee. Ooh, I really want a Reese's milkshake from Ed's Easy Diner, but I won't. Costa. What have they got? Vegan toasty, $4.95. Is that right? Drink and main and snack, $4.95. If anyone can get a deal wrong, it's me, believe me. We'll head off out of here because I'm going to try and catch a bus. So just heading down from the food court. Boots for all your pharmaceutical, makeup and connected needs. I guess what in the US would be called a drugstore. Better brows, get your brows done. How much is it to get eyebrows waxed? £8. On now. What's that? Money exchange. So you got clothing shops. Holland and Barrett, who had a massive explosion as a health food shop these days. When I was a student, it was just great big sacks on the floor practically. Very, very unglamorous. And Leon, I've mentioned to you before, I'm very fond of a Leon. Just going to go out the back a moment. So you've got Colonnade Walk here. Just going to give you your bearings. So I've come out the back. I call it the back. When they extended Victoria Station, they couldn't extend sideways because of this road here, Buckingham Palace Road. They couldn't go widthways, so they had to extend lengthways. So they got super long platforms, complicated arrangements, so that people can actually get onto trains and not overcrowd the station. So here's a little map view are here. These are all over central London. So looking at this tells me if I just continue up there, I'll be at the coach station. Sorry, the Osmo's pointing upwards a bit too much. There we go. So just up there would be Victoria coach station according to the map. Now, this is Buckingham Palace Road. Guess where it goes? That's right, it goes down to Buckingham Palace. And that's in that direction. So I'll be heading down there later just to do your bearings, but I'm going to pop back inside. Okay, so I'm going to try and find the number 11 bus now, but before I do that, I'm going to see if I can get down into the underground, find you an Oyster Card selling machine. So if you don't want to queue, you can just use a machine, though that can be scary too if the machine breaks. I'm just heading down here a sec. Right, it says tickets. Let's have a look. So, Oyster Card refunds. You can get a refund of up to £10 at the large ticket machines. Wow. So let's have a look at this a moment. I don't want to jump a queue. I don't think I'm going to here. So I've got French billet, English tickets. Oyster, oh there it is. Get new card. There's a quick guide as well. More than 2 journeys today. Get a day travel card paper ticket or pay as you go top up Oyster. I think you have to pay a charge to get your Oyster issued. So if you're only here for a day or two, it might be better just to get the travel card paper ticket. It just takes you around the underground all day. That's the zones. We're in Zone 1, City of Westminster, Zone 1 here, and that's the little tube map and all the various zone numbers as well. Time limit exceeded. Let's start again. So that's a quick guide here. Okay. And you can get just a ticket if you prefer, and if you want to get your Oyster card, select the number, confirm, preparing your Oyster card. I think I'm not going to get into trouble now for wasting everybody's time. And pay, top up pay as you go. Interesting. So that's where you can get your Oyster card at a machine, if you want to get one at a machine. Takes you down to the underground. I'm going to go back up now. I'm going to use my newfound bus apps on my phone to try and find the number 11 bus, which, as I said, is one of the iconic buses through London, because it takes you through many of the tourist attractions. You can just flash your Oyster card to get on and off you go. So it says buses up here, so let's go up here. Let's just see if I can indeed get on my chosen bus, the number 11. I don't even know if there's a stop anywhere near Buckingham Palace. So I had a message from Nan Owen, who is staying in the Victoria area in, I think, June, coming to London. So that's the Apollo Victoria, that's wicked. And she's going to be bringing her 16-year-old granddaughter, and they're going to stay in the Victoria area. And when she saw my Victoria to Buckingham Palace walk, asked how long it is, because in common with me, she has a grumpy knee. I have a grumpy knee, she has a grumpy knee. Wants to know if her knee could manage, I think, a direct walk from here to Buckingham Palace. So you've got the little maps here. The direct walk from here to Buckingham Palace would probably be around the 10-minute mark, or you can come to Buckingham Palace from Green Park Tube Station. Green Park Tube Station takes you directly through Green Park. I did do a walk on that in the rain down to Buckingham Palace, so at least there are plenty of seats as long as it's not raining and not so many people to dodge. And in the distance, as I pointed out earlier, there is Little Ben, a symbol of Anglo-French friendship, in front of the Victoria Palace Theatre. Right, time to get out my bus app and see if there's a number 11 bus around here somewhere. If you join me on that walk, right, I suppose, see you there. If not, see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey there, well, I do hope you enjoyed that walk through Victoria Station and down to look at an Oyster card machine. I'm going to go get on a bus now. I hope you enjoyed this part of the walk, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.